Pravin Gordhan presents a scaled-down budget in Parliament, and the city of Joburg says there will be delays in the delivery of February's municipal account statements to residents. I'm Richard Brooks. Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan has presented a scaled-down budget in Parliament. Difficult economic times means tax revenues have fallen by 16%. However, Gordhan says there will still be moderate growth in spending on government priorities such as new infrastructure, health, education and welfare. Andre Jordan reports.
Gordhan says economic growth slowed to 2.5% in the past year and is expected to reach 2.7% this year. In spite of the tax shortfall, he's granted personal income tax relief of 7 billion rand. There'll also be tax incentives for companies that employ first-time job seekers, following long debate about the so-called youth wage subsidy.
The way a tax incentive works is not that you have money somewhere on the expenditure side that you put into it. It is what we call a tax expenditure. So when the actual employment takes place, when workers are actually paid, then through the PAYE system, employers will get some money back.
Gordhan has raised duties on tobacco and alcohol by between 5 and 10%, and the levies on a litre of fuel will go up by 23 cents. Social grants will increase between 3 and 5%. Gordhan says the so-called social wage is essential in overcoming inequality. The provinces have been allocated more than 40% of the national budget to be spent mainly on health, education and social welfare. 8% of the trillion rand budget goes to local government for providing basic services to low-income households.
Political parties in Parliament have largely welcomed Gordhan's budget speech, describing it as safe. Here's Freedom Front Plus leader Peter Mulder.
He started off with a shortage of about 16 billion in revenue. And the question was, how is he going to balance it? He succeeded not raising taxes, but he pays a very high price. And the price he pays is a higher deficit, 5.2%, and debt of the state up to 40%. You know, he needs about 100 billion every year just to service the debt. And that's a balancing act. Will he get the aeroplane out of the dive and get up, hopefully with growth? But if something goes wrong, we're in big trouble, yeah.
The South African Meat Processors Association has called on scientists from Stellenbosch University to hand over their findings regarding mislabeling of meat products to the relevant authorities. This follows findings that ingredients such as buffalo and donkey meat were not included on the labels of certain products. The association's chairperson, Andrew Cox.
As these new issues come up, where we've been doing compositional testing in the past to make sure that the products comply with the minimum compositional standards, now what we would be doing going forward is make certain that they also comply from a DNA perspective. We have as an industry called on Prof. Hoffman to try and get the names, the samples to the relevant authorities so that they can go and investigate where it looks like there have been cases of adulteration.
Gauteng's acting police commissioner Phumzo Khela says the newly established safety committee has begun to yield positive results in Muldersdrift, where more arrests have been made. Muldersdrift has been hit by a wave of violent crimes in recent months. Khela says 4 suspects, all Zimbabwean nationals, have been arrested on charges of robbery and theft. Investigations are continuing to establish whether the suspects are linked to other crimes in the area. Pearl Magubane reports.
Acting Gauteng Police Commissioner Phumzo Khela says the arrest of the 4 suspects came after a house robbery was reported at plot 186 in Witfontein on Valentine's Day this year. Khela says it was later established that one of the arrested suspects was a former employee at the plot. Several arrests in some cases that date back to September last year have also been made. Khela says the increased visibility in the form of public order policing, foot patrollers, the flying squad, as well as active community members have assisted in the arrests.
The city of Joburg says there will be delays in the delivery of February's municipal account statements to residents. Spokesperson Manyane Mapologela says the delay is due to industrial action at the South African Post Office. Mapolo Khela says because of the strike, residents might not receive their new property valuations in time, as per the city's General Valuation 2013 project. Those who are interested in viewing their new property value are advised to visit the city's website www.joburg.org.za.